Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and today we're going to get working on my pencil cacti. I have a ton of these. One original plant. Every single time I pruned it for the first 4 years, I used all of the cuttings and rooted them. So I will show you how to do that. So if you do have a pencil cactus, you could multiply your collection. And yeah, so we're going to get to that and plenty of pruning and shaping and designing a whole bunch of different pencil cacti. So that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. Prune it. If you set them in water after you prune them, you end up, after some months, with roots that are this dominant. So at any point in time, I could plant this in some soil, and it would be a nice start to a pencil cactus plant. So this vase is huge and oversized, but I kind of like while these things are rooting, that they look attractive. Like, this is a nice centerpiece in my opinion. It looks nice and vibrant and green, and it's got, you know, a really attractive pencil cactus shape. And so you want to keep these out of direct sun. So some indirect sun is fine, but roots don't necessarily like direct sun and heat. So while they're rooting, unless you have, like, I don't know, an opaque thing that you want to root them in, I always do it in a glass vase. I think it looks nice. So every year we give friends and family like different plants. We put them together in cool pots and stuff like that, and it's a lot of fun. And we've done, you know, spider plants and pathos or pothos. For some reason I can never remember the name of those. And we've done some jades, and now I think this year, since I have so many of these, and I have more than enough for my own personal collection, that this is going to be the gift for this year. So I have no problem waiting for these to root. If you're like really pressed for time, I don't know why you'd be pressed for time, but these don't necessarily all kick off roots at the same time either. You know, some will kick off roots like in the second week, and then others you'll be waiting, and then 6 weeks in they'll start. And it's probably 85% success rate. You get the occasional one that doesn't want to root, he just wants to rot. You pull that out, change the water, and continue on. So it's really an easy process. Once you do the pruning, I'll show you there's a milky white substance that comes out, so that'll turn the water. So every few days or so in the beginning you want to change the water, but how hard is that? You know, not a big deal. All right, so I'm going to bring you over to the mother pencil cactus that has started all of these babies. Okay, people, so this is where I have it. This is my Marine Corps themed fireplace, but since we're not planning on building any fires here, I have a huge potted pencil cactus, the mom of all the plants that I have, just above my grandfather's flag. He served in the United States Army, and when he passed away, they gave it to me because I was in the United States Marine Corps. That's my non-commissioned officer sword below. And Laura got that made for me by a Marine off of Facebook Marketplace. Really cool. So it's like my Marine Corps themed corner. And we have the little garden gnome, and of course a Liverpool garden gnome. But let's focus, Jared. Let's focus. Just like my camera, I don't like to focus. So the only thing that I want to do on this bad boy today is I was letting some of these grow because I thought maybe I wanted it canopying everywhere, but it clearly wants to come this way. So why fight it? 99% of the plants this way. So I just don't like the way these look, and they're not getting, you know, they're not getting enough sun, and it's taken away from my nice woody trunk here that I'd like to show off. I might have to, this is all trunk. I might have to brush that with a toothbrush with a little bit of all natural dish soap and warm water to get it to clean up. But so that one and this one, they're coming from the base of this nice branch here, so they don't belong there anyways. And I think they will really make some nice plants from cuttings. So I sent one of these over to my buddy in Sheffield, England, my buddy Scott Winard at Let's Do Bonsai, and I believe his is doing really well too. I could probably get these as one, but we'll see. Did I? Just barely. Who knows? That might work. Oh, and it breaks apart instantly. But that's cool. I was planning on them being two individuals. Look at that. Wouldn't that be fun to get that as a present? You know, nice and rooted in a pot, and you get to do the pruning immediately, or just leave it wild and crazy. I think that's cool. And then, oh, broke a little piece off. Okay. And then this one's even more awesome. Cool. So they didn't kick off any milky white substance, so I didn't get to show you what I was talking about, but I'm sure we will with the other plants. Maybe since this one's so established, it doesn't happen. Okay, now looking down in here, cleaned it up nicely, huh? Get that out of there. Just to be safe when you're working with these, make sure you wash your hands before you touch your eyes or anything. Just be careful while you're working with them, and then after, just wash up. I haven't had any issues, but some panicky people have said that it's dangerous, so don't tempt fate. Looks like my root base wants to grow, and this cool heart-shaped rock that was holding the pot down in the back looks like it's kind of restricting it, so I'm just getting that moved there. There we go. Now the trunk is free to grow a little bit more. I want to get this nub out of here, but I'm going to need... Oh, I have a more serious tool. I'm using Stella's playmat to put these things down. When I leave a soil trail, Laura's going to kill me. So, okay. To be fair, it was my bonsai table first. Boom. Got that out of there. Oh, that's gonna look nice now. Yeah. So all the branches are coming out this way smoothly from the trunk line. Got a nice ball here. I might not get to it today, but what I'm gonna do is use that toothbrush, and it'll look woody like that when I'm done with it. Yeah, cool. Getting some woody trunk on the mother. And this one, it just grew so rapidly upward, and then decided to get, you know, bushy up top. And I took off a lot of the low growth last time to turn this into a more vertical tree style rather than a bush, you know, weeping like the mother plant you saw. And I like it, but I need this part to get stronger before it can support like all of this top growth here. So let's see, why don't I clean up the bottom from previous prunings. This thing is from a cutting, as I discussed, and it's just getting to the point where it's deserving a little bit of time and respect. It's not just like, okay, go ahead and grow and I'll water you and do little prunings here and there, but like now it's like, okay, where are we going to go from here? There's some of that white sap leaking out right here. I doubt you can see it, but I'm sure I'll get a close-up for you by the end. It's just such a pain to keep taking it on and off the... trying to not get too close where I chunk into the trunk. Don't want to chunk into the trunk, y'all. There we go. That wasn't good. A little bit more off. That's better. I've used these before where they make this really concave indent into your trunk, and it's like, oh man, I didn't want that. So you gotta be careful with these. They're very sharp. There's no going back. You always take more off. Can't put more back on. Okay. All right. So this is just a stake that actually was part of a greenhouse that broke, but I used it to prop this thing up while it strengthens. I think I just need to take a little bit of the top heaviness off it. Unfortunately, I have to do that because these are really pretty up here. These are really good. But I think I'm just going to straight up take the main trunk out because those will turn into some really nice cuttings. I'll pop them right into my little cutting base here. I'm going to leave a 1/4 inch for dieback. Shoot that in there. Leave a 1/4 inch for dieback on each of the prunes, and then the next time I come through and prune, just like I cleaned up this area, that's what I will do for these prunings. And I'm going to do the same exact thing over here. This is kind of like a twin trunk, very similar size, which could be a lot of fun in the future. So what I'm expecting another growth pop coming right out of where I just pruned. And, oh, see I'm dripping sap, it's dripping sap now. So I've heard that that has homeopathic benefits. I haven't really got into it. I don't have any homeopathic needs, so anyways. I'm getting distracted. So when these grow back in, like these cuttings I just removed, by then there should be enough energy down here to really get a nice strong woody trunk, get stronger branches. You see they're very wobbly here so that they could support that structure. I wanted to, my goal for this year is to get it to stand like 2 twin trunks with perfect canopies minus this. I want it to be strong enough to be able to hold itself up around the other. This one I believe I started before the last one, and so it's had more prunings and it has more development down low. Last time I did take out some of its weeping stuff. This has a little blonde doll in a bikini that when I did this planting, I said I'm making it like my wife and I are on a nice exotic trip to the Caribbean. So I've got a little message in a bottle that says "One Love," a few shells and some coral that we took back from our trips down there. And, you know, so it's like a fun reminder of not just pre-baby days. I know we'll get back there, but just like, you know, I didn't meet my wife until I was in my 30s. And so she's pretty awesome. Let's see here. So I like this branch. I've got a little trunk here that's younger. You could tell because it's a lighter green. This one's younger, lighter green than this one. They get darker the older they get, and then they wooden up. And then I like that height. Even I like this branch coming off of this one. What I don't like is this really thick main branch over here that, once again, didn't really start its canopy until it got up top. So I think I'm going to take that all the way back to here. That will even up the height with these branches matching the height of these branches and allow some energy to come back down into the lower part of the plant here so we could get some more branching. This is just, it's thicker. This is as thick as the trunk, so it just doesn't fit. So I'm going to do that same. Leave a 1/4 inch or so and get it in my cutting jar. Oh yeah, that thing's getting good and packed. That's perfect. I just think it's way cooler to give somebody a gift that like you grew, rooted, potted, made, you know, rather than buying a plant in a nursery or just giving them a stupid card. So this is what I do for holidays and events and birthdays and stuff. I think I would be excited to get a pencil cactus for my birthday or for Christmas. So this thing's just bubbling out sap up here, but I like it already. I think this branch, it's a little wide. I'm going to take out this branch, this branch, anything that's reaching outside the pot. This one's at the base of another one. That, and then this guy's just too long. And those I won't save as cuttings. I'll just toss those. So this, where I just pruned, has a main branch that's going across the other ones, and it's already, I could tell it's just too dominant. So I'm going to take that out too. That can be a cutting. Root going in there. had a bunch of spiderettes that needed a pot. I had a bunch of bamboo cuttings that needed a pot. And I had a few really nice pencil cactus cuttings that I didn't want to go to waste. So I said, you know what, might be fun to do like a combo planting with these where like the bamboo grows tall up in the middle and the pencil cactus stays low and crawly on one side, and then, you know, these could be an attractive backdrop, the spider plant. So now that they're established, I would say, I don't know, maybe a year they've been in this pot. Now that they're established, I'm going to prune back these spider plants extremely hard, all the way back to their roots, actually. This will help me get in there and take a look. Now, if you haven't grown spider plants, they are literally the easiest thing on the planet to grow, and as long as you keep them bug-free, and I mean, they're not even that bad with bugs. I've had scale insect the worst on them, I'd say. As long as you keep them bug-free, they are going to give you spiderettes and just pay dividends for years. I mean, you can literally just grow spider plants and sell their babies and make a living, no joke. That's how prolific they are at growing and easy to grow. So with that being said, that's why I was confident just to prune them all the way down there, because they'll come back. I want to really get a look at what we got going on here. So there were a couple of jades in here that did not take, and that's fine. I think I just threw them in there just for the sake of throwing them in there. They really don't fit. And then we have our bamboo took. So I've got a bunch of babies down here. That'll be nice. And then a little section over there. And then I have the 3 pencil cactus down here. So I think what I'm going to do is anything that on the pencil cactus that's growing back towards the bamboo, I'm going to remove so that they're not intersecting. Sometimes, yeah, they're big enough. I'll throw them in my. Sometimes I like to picture, you know, if I had like an apartment or something in the city and I had a balcony, you know, what would be a really cool planting that I would enjoy? And so that's what I was thinking about when I was putting this together. Like even if you have like a neighbor, you could put it as the divide between, and once this grows up, the bamboo can serve as a little privacy, you know, stuff like that. I have tons and tons of outdoor room here, 5 acres, but unfortunately in Northwest Connecticut, you know, you have like a 6-month winter, so. Can't have plantings like this outside or anything like that. Alright, that's looking better. I've got some vertical growth coming in here, and I don't want these to be competing for the height with the bamboo. I want the bamboo to be the tall part. That's a little center part there, so yeah, it's looking nice. This branch, even this one here, it's really thick. It's coming above all the others, and even though they're all weeping in the direction I want them to, this one is just a little too dominant, too high, and too thick for early on. But that will make a nice cutting, which I have so many now. That's awesome. Starting my own pencil cactus nursery. Yeah, I think that's all I'll do for here for today. Let them keep crawling out of there. Let these keep growing tall. And when these grow in, I would love to have it almost like a little spiderette hedge. So if I could get them to grow in, little babies, smaller and smaller each time, that would be my goal for there. So it's like a backdrop, but below where it is part of a planting of 3 different cuttings. So I have a jade here, I have a schefflera, or dwarf umbrella tree, Dorschiflera here. That's from a cutting. And then weeping out the side is another pencil cactus. And I don't know what direction I want this planting to go in. It's relatively new, I'd say 6 months. So I'm just letting them all grow in nice and strong, and then we'll figure that out. I like to work on things like that, you know, in the winter when everything else is dormant. So that's going to do it for today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai, y'all. I hope you enjoyed it on the pencil cactus. Very cool species. I highly recommend it, whether you're into bonsai, houseplants, tropicals, cactus. It pretty much fits in all of these categories, and you could have fun with it. And as you see, you can really multiply your investment. You buy one plant, within a year, you could have as many as you'd like, a couple dozen. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Once again, I'm Jared Paul, and from my family to yours, I hope you have a great day. Cheers.